All right, Alton Elementary School, thanks for the positive feedback on flipping the faculty meeting, the first one that we did the other day. And I actually was not going prepared to do a second one, but we had some materials come in today, and so I thought this might be a good time to try our next flipping the faculty meeting. This one's going to be focusing more on an instructional focus. So no, don't think that Mr. Ogg's going to do one every single day. It just, some things came in. Want to get the information out to you as soon as possible so that we can begin our next book study. All right, well, our last book study was over comprehension connections, and I thought we did a really good job, and I do see a lot of teachers implementing those strategies that we talked about in the book in their classroom. Really do appreciate that. But I wanted to look for a book that might be able to cover more different content areas than just the language arts. And I came across, actually by luck, The Fundamental Five by Sean Kane and Mike Laird. I actually had the opportunity to meet Mr. Sean Kane in Austin at a Title I conference, and I actually follow him on Twitter, and we do some conversations with one another about helping teachers and students and improving the instruction in the classroom. I think you're really going to like this book. It's a simple read. I actually finished it in one day. I actually have read it twice already, and I plan on reading it again to make sure I get every detail covered. But I actually do think that you'll like this book. Okay, what's the purpose mainly of doing the Fundamental Five, the formula for quality instruction? One of the things I thought that I loved about this book was that it provides a very simple plan that basically any teacher, Mr. Kane has talked to me and has talked to others about how this Fundamental Five he has seen used at elementary schools, middle schools, high school, even in colleges. They have implemented the Fundamental Five practices. You can, if you read the book and you try and you work really hard, yes, it is a simple plan, but you can implement it today after you read the book. You can try it, but it will take practice to do. But it is by far the simplest plan that I've seen. But of course, you can implement it today, and it definitely will improve the quality instruction and results in greater student achievement. And Mr. Kane and Mr. Laird have demonstrated that toward the end of the book. They show where some schools who have implemented the Fundamental Five to the fullest and the gains that those schools have made. And of course, he's implemented them in some other schools that are not noted in the book, and they too, though, have made great gains by using just these 5 simple steps. When I'm looking at this book and deciding to make it a book study for the campus, I went back and I was thinking about our motto for the school. Alton Elementary, where excellence is a standard and there are no limits to the possibilities. And I just kind of felt a connection between our motto and what the book and the practices were offering to us. We want the very best for our students. We want the very best for ourselves. And that starts with the instruction that happens in the classroom. And we're working really hard, and I'm hoping that these simple steps will just add to the hard work that we've already done so far. Again, as I said, it's like turning a cruise ship. Not going to turn it fast, but we are turning it. So there's no limits to the possibilities that we cannot do by continuing to move forward and learning more things and thinking more outside the box. So that's what I'm hoping that this Fundamental Five will add to it to help us keep moving forward. So what is a Fundamental Five? Well, it's made up of the 5 parts, and they're divided up into different chapters. And we'll go over each chapter, but starting up at the top where frame the lesson, then we move, and it's not in any random order, but this is kind of how it goes, order in the book. Work in the power zone, frequent small group, purposeful talk about learning, recognizing and reinforcement, and writing critically. Some of these you might say, we do these already, and you are correct, you do them already. But in the next, in a moment, I'll show you the importance of that, how you need to do all 5 together. But this is what makes up the Fundamental Five. Okay, some key points that you just kind of need to remember as we read through the book, and the authors do state this as you're reading, but some key points. These are not recommendations that you can just pick and choose from. You can't pick one of the five and just do that one and think that you're going to see some great results. Not going to happen. All five individual practices are interact and interconnect with each other. And they, by doing so, when they do it, they produce a dramatic effect that you will see in the instruction and the learning from the students. And again, must execute all five. Every one of them has to be executed to its fullest in a lesson. If you miss out on one, it's not going to have that same effect. Think of it this way. Think of it like your hand. If you were going to take your hand and make it into a fist, and you were going to strike something with your fist, if you're missing one finger, if one finger is not there, if you lost it in a accident or you broke a finger, you're not going to be able to create that fist and strike with any type of force because of that missing finger. Again, these are just some key points as you read through this book. You just can't jump to a chapter and say, "Oh, I'm going to read this and I'm going to try this." But just remember this as you are reading through the chapters of these books. And so we're going to do this book study throughout the remainder of the year. I will probably come on and put on some more videos and ask you some questions, and then we might meet in the afternoon one day after school, and we might talk about those questions that I ask you for the book study. We're also going to continue the book study into the summer. And mark your calendars right now. I'm going ahead and let you know that on August 12th and 13th, we're going to have another retreat. It's going to be back at Ant Street Inn. And on August 12th, I believe that's a Monday, we are going to have Mr. Sean Kane will be here to talk about the Fundamental Five and implementing the five practices into your classroom. Now, if you want to try to go ahead and implement them now, after reading, you can. You want to practice? You can. There's no problem with that. But I thought it would be really great if we could actually get the author to come in, sit down, and talk to us. And you may try some, and you may have some questions. What better person to ask than the author himself who wrote the book? So looking really forward to that. So that wraps up our next, I guess you call, Flipping the Faculty Meeting. Thank you so much. Do the same thing in. If you could sign in, that would be great. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I hope you enjoyed the book, and we'll talk to you later.